Colonel, I noticed you were wearing your Class A dress uniform for your appearance in court today.
As are you, Lieutenant.
Did you wear that on the plane?
Your Honor, is this dialogue relevant to anything in particular?
The defense did not have an opportunity to depose this witness and asked the court for a little latitude.
A very little latitude.
Yes, sir. Did you, Colonel, wear that on the plane?
I wore fatigues on the plane.
And you packed your dress uniform. Anything else, like a shaving kit or change of underwear?
Your Honor,
is the Colonel's underwear really a matter of national security?
Get somewhere fast with this, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Did you, Colonel?
I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Right. I have here a list of all the items in Santiago's barracks room. When he was died, it was emptied and its contents were inventoried. 2 khaki shirts, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 2 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 brown socks, 3 black socks.
Your Honor, is there a question anywhere in our future?
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. Colonel, after being subpoenaed to Washington, you made a couple phone calls. I have here a list of all the phone calls made out of your base in the past 24 hours. I've highlighted some numbers in yellow. Do you recognize them?
I called Colonel Fitzhughes in Quantico, Virginia to let him know I'd be in town. The second call was to Congressman Richmond of the House Armed Services Committee. And the third call is to my sister, Elizabeth.
Now, why'd you make that call?
Thought she might like to have dinner.
Your Honor,
I'm going to put a stop to this now.
Yes, sir. I also have here a list of all the calls made out of Guantanamo Bay on the night of July 6th. I also have here 14 letters that Santiago wrote requesting, in fact, begging for a transfer off the base. When he learned of his being transferred off the base, do you want to know how many people Santiago called? None. Nobody. Not one phone call. Not a call to a friend saying, hey, could you pick me up at the airport? Or not one call to his family saying he was finally getting out. You see, he was asleep in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours, and he hadn't packed a thing, and he hadn't called a soul. Can you explain that, Colonel? See, the fact of the matter is, Santiago wasn't going anywhere, is that right?
objection, Your Honor. It's obvious that Lieutenant Cash's intent this morning is to smear the high-ranking Marine officer with a desperate hope that the mere appearance of impropriety would have put to the jury. It's my recommendation, sir, that he be reprimanded for his actions, and the witness be excused with the court's deepest apologies.
Overruled.
Your Honor.
The objection's noted.
Is this funny, sir?
No, it's not. It's tragic.
Do you have an explanation?
Absolutely. My answer is that I don't have the first damn clue. Maybe he was an early riser and liked to pack in the morning. Maybe he didn't have any friends. I'm an educated man, but I'm afraid I can't speak intelligently about the travel habits of William Santiago. Now, are these really the questions I was called here to answer? Phone calls and foot lockers? Please tell me you have more, Lieutenant. 2 men are on trial for their lives. Please tell me their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill.
Lieutenant Caffey. Lieutenant, do you have anything further for this witness?
Thanks, Danny. I love Washington.
Excuse me, I did not dismiss you.
Excuse me?
I am not through with my examination, and I did not dismiss you. Now, please sit down.
Colonel.
What's that?
I want the man to address me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
The defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
I don't know what kind of outfit you're running here.
And the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I'm quite certain I've earned it.
What would you like to discuss now? My favorite color?
Colonel, the 0600 flight, was it the first off the base?
The 0600 was the first flight off the base.
It wasn't the flight that left, say, 7 hours earlier and landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.?
Lieutenant, I thought we covered this.
In just a moment, the defense will be calling Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Perez to the stand. They were working the ground crew on the night of the 7th.
Your Honor, these men were on the list.
Rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor, called specifically to refute any testimony offered under direct examination.
I'll allow the witnesses.
Colonel, a moment ago...
Check the tower logs, Caffey.
We'll get to the airman in just a minute, sir. A A moment ago, you said you gave Kendrick an order to tell his men that Santiago was not to be touched. Was he clear on what you wanted?
Crystal.
Any chance he ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he forgot about it?
No.
Any chance that he left the room and said, "The old man's wrong"?
No.
Any chance that when he told the platoon, they decided to ignore him?
Have you ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Have you ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Have you ever put your life in another man's hands and asked him to put his life in yours?
I have not, sir.
Follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. I just have one further question before I call the airmen to the stand. If you told Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago was not to be touched, then why would it be necessary to transfer Santiago off the base?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
If Kendrick told his men not to touch Santiago, then why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base?
Santiago was being transferred because he was a
That's not
substandard.
what you said. You said he was being transferred because he was in danger. You said danger.
Yes, that's
I said
correct.
grave danger. I can have the court reporter.
Yes, I recall what I said. I don't need it read back to me like I'm...
Two orders. Colonel, why the two orders?
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
Very clear that your men follow orders or people die. So if that's true, Santiago shouldn't have been in any danger at all. Should he have been, Colonel? You see, it's a paradox. Paradox is word
You little punk.
Your Honor, I'd like to call a recess too.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
That makes two of us.
Colonel, if Kendrick told his men that Santiago was not to be touched, then why was it necessary for him to be transferred off the base? See, Colonel, you don't have an answer to that because Kendrick ordered his men to give the code red. Isn't that right, Colonel?
Objection.
Counselor, you're putting words
And when
in.
bad, you cut these two young men loose.
Your Honor.
You coerced the doctor.
Counsel, I'll hold
you
you to
forged
check.
the logbook.
Your Honor.
You
Your last word.
Parkinson's signed a phony transfer order.
Damn it, Captain.
Consider yourself in contempt.
I will ask for a fourth time. If Kendrick orders his
You want
men,
answers?
I'm entitled to them.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth! Because the truth is that we live in a world that has walls. Walls that need to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind, the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it, because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the very blanket of freedom I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I prefer you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, get a gun and stand at post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
You ordered the code.
I didn't.
You ordered the code red!
You're damn right I did!
Please, the court, I suggest we move to an immediate Article 39A session. The witness has rights. Jack.
I concur.
The sergeant at arms will take the members to an anteroom to await further instructions.
What's going on, Captain? What's going on? I did my job and I'd do it again. Now I'm getting on a plane and going back to my base.
Guard the prisoner.
What?
MPs, guard the prisoner.
I ordered a code red and everyone's going to pieces like a ladies' auxiliary.
Colonel, you have the right to remain silent. Any statement you do make can be used against you in a trial by court-martial or other judicial or administrative proceeding. You have the right to consult with an attorney before questioning. This lawyer may be a civilian lawyer retained at no cost in the United States or by a military lawyer appointed to act as your counsel.
Is this funny? Is this supposed to be a joke? This is funny, you know that. I'm gonna rip your eyes out of your head and piss in your dead skull! You messing with the wrong Marine!
Colonel, do you understand these rights that I've read them to you?
You people. You have no idea how to defend a nation! You Put people in danger tonight, Captain. That's all you did! Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer in the United States Navy, and you're going to jail, you son of a bitch.